real business owners. Welcome back to the Real Business Owners Podcast. This is episode 90 with myself, Trevor Cowley. As always, my partner, Kel Goodman.
What's up, everybody?
Guys, today we have a hell of a show for you. I will tell you, we have a lot of love for this individual. He's a good human being, solid man, great businessman. We do not do any podcast, as you guys are aware of, via Zoom or anything like that. But when you have an individual of his caliber, we'll make an exception. Very, very, very rarely will we make an exception. But for this man, we definitely will. He's a busy guy. He's handling business. He's growing. He's scaling. He's helping other people grow and scale. So, to get him on an airplane from Florida to Utah is difficult to do when his hustle muscle is just flexed to the max right now. So he's got a lot of stuff going on, and we had the opportunity to meet this individual when we joined a mastermind group, the Arete Syndicate. So he is our Arete brother. That group had a lot of high-powered players in it, and Lee, without a doubt, was one of them. We connected with him very, very quickly in the group, and just, sometimes you just vibe with people. They're just on the same frequency as you are. And I'm sure we've all had people that we've met within the first 5 minutes. You just know that you like that individual and they're just a good human being. And then there's other individuals you meet and you still have your defenses up. Lee's not that type of individual. He's just the right type of guy that you want in your life and that you want to surround yourself with. He's just an all-around badass. He's a contractor that's absolutely slated in the contracting world, and he's giving back to the industry by helping other contractors, get to that same level as him. And so we want to welcome Lee Haight to the show, man. Welcome, brother.
Hey, man, thanks for having me. A big fan of the show. Y'all are some studs, man. Y'all are changing the game out there for all types of business owners. And I'm honored to be on the show, man.
That's what it's about, man. And so are you, and that's why it's just an absolute no-brainer to have you on the show. Anybody that's disrupting the industry or anybody that's just helping other people elevate their life, those are the type of people that we want to surround ourselves with, right? And so, you're vibing our content, we vibe your shit too. We just love everything about you and everything that you're up to. You're physically pushing yourself, you're mentally pushing yourself, you're growing as a human being individually, even outside of your business, and your business is benefiting from it. You're just doing all the right things at this point, man, and we definitely take our hat off to you. And as you know, we don't take our hat off often, but
I appreciate that, but it wasn't always that way. I mean, I'm a college dropout. I struggled also choosing the wrong way of life, partying too hard growing up. And, I've been in business a long time, 15 years I've been working at it to become an overnight success. And whenever I joined Arete, there was issues in my business, core values issues, leadership questioning my leadership, salespeople on mutiny. And I was in one of these recreation phases. And, it's something about being able to put yourself in a room and learn from everybody in a room, learn from high quality entrepreneurs like yourself. It's humbling. It's like, hey, there's a lot of badasses out there. And when you put yourself in that environment, remember that boat ride over to Ed's house, we didn't know anybody. And you got to start just talking to people randomly. I'm there by myself. I traveled to Idaho by myself. And so it's putting yourself in that uncomfortable position, though, where lifelong bonds can happen, and we got put into a smaller group together, me and Trevor, and we were fixing each other's problems. And that's where I realized, man, these guys, they have an innovative way of looking at things. And that's what I'm about, is sort of the unorthodox approach. And that's what I really help. That's what I really help contractors do is use social media for profit, build and grow sales teams, and gain an unfair advantage through becoming a social sales king. Y'all are social sales kings for sure.
You are too, man. I remember I didn't get to know you right away like Trevor did, because when Trevor and I were in these events, man, like we're almost kind of like dividing divide and conquer kind of thing, because we're there together, but we're like, man, this is a relationship game. But I do remember before I met you, I saw you several times, and and dude, I can totally relate to what you said, because you were there to like redefine or regrow, rebuild like your leadership qualities, learn about, social media influence, all this stuff, right? And dude, I just remember you over there just freaking grinding away, man, taking notes. I saw you in the hallway, like reading through things. Like, you weren't there to just play like a lot of guys do. A lot of guys come to those things to play, man. They throw money to be in the rooms, and then they show up and play. They miss out on all the value. And so I remember you putting down the work, dude, because I saw that, right? So I was stoked once we did connect, and Trevor had already met you. So
I had
He's an
intention.
action taker.
I think
He's
it's
an
important
action
if you join a group or a coach, you have intention. I always ask people joining my program, where do you see us in a year? Whenever I joined Arete, I said, you know what? I want Ed and Andy to come to my audience. I want to throw an event, and I want to find a way in which, I can mastermind with the people in this group, but also find a way where I could get these guys to help me on my mission. And, Ed's the one who reviewed my application. He accepted me into the group. And whenever he agreed to do our event up here, the Blue Collar American Dream Conference coming up in March in Miami, it was a culmination of one more time going into one of these things with intention. One time I decided I was going to sell Grant Cardone a roof, but I had to write a $60,000 check first. And, that's kind of how my journey started. Was the first time I paid for coaching. The bill was up to like $9,000 a month, and I had to start coaching to keep up with my bill. And so sometimes we put ourselves in these uncomfortable positions that create, just a whole new you.
Yes. And I think that's the issue, is people just don't take a step outside of their comfort zone unless there's certainty there, right? And if there's certainty, are you really taking a step outside your comfort zone? Absolutely not. We created some very, very, very valuable relationships in that group, but was that guaranteed going into it? No. That's up to the individual and the intention that you have when you're going in, whether or not you're getting value. It's funny, maybe 90% of the room got value, or 70% of the room got value, and 30% didn't. The only difference was the intent of the individual going into it, right? And the commitment level to come out better, right? And I think not enough people have a commitment level to themselves to always try to get a little bit better. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is always taking a step outside your current self and doing things that maybe the old you wouldn't do, and ask for help, right? And so it's cool to see you, doing this, and it's coming full circle to where you reached out for help years ago, dialed in your mindset, dialed in your systems and processes in your business, and now you're turning around and serving other people, helping them dial in their systems and processes, their mindset, their culture, helping them, be better at taking action on some of the things that maybe they, were uncertain about, but letting them know these are the steps that you have to take if you want to grow in business. You're going to have to take a step outside your comfort zone. You're going to have to make decisions that you wouldn't normally make in order to get the results.
One of those decisions that you have to make is like, if Trevor can do it, I can do it. If Kale can do it, I can do it. If Lee can do it, I can do it. If Grant Cardone can do it, I can do it. If Ed Milet can do it, I can do it. And really, whenever I started coaching contractors, I became a competition to these coaches, competition to these guys. And during this event that we have, we're throwing it at the exact same time as GrowthCon. But look, we run in our own lanes. There's no competition but myself. I'm here to help blue collars, home service contractors build wealth and live their purpose. We've built a very big, successful company, but I'm not self-made. I'm a product of people that coached me. I've learned the most, though, for coaching other people. And the real way that this has disrupted our industry, we become one of the fastest growing companies, is how many people we're educating. And really, when you talk about at scale, what power there is in podcasting and YouTube and Instagram and social media, if you just give value to the market will give back. And then you might ask yourself, well, what if I have to take the time to do it? What if there's sacrifice? Like, dude, it's going to hurt. It's going to cost. We have other things to be doing to make direct money. This is an investment. And a lot of times people don't trust that process. They don't ever take that step. God. 5 years pass and they're like, holy shit, look what, like, dude, it's time to get started. It's time to have courage and speak up. And, what I really related, Kale, to something I saw on yours Instagram. you were going through a tough time in business, but you had to do what you had to do to get cash flow, and you went in as a door-to-door sales guy to sell solar.
Yeah.
Now, selling solar door-to-door is a lot like the way we do it. We chase hailstorms and hurricanes around the country, sell roofs paid for by the insurance company. But, it's like, wow, that personal story, it brought me into just even being more of a fan. And people don't realize, if you don't share that old picture, that struggle, then you don't give people a chance to really connect. So,
so true, man. So true. I mean, that was halfway through my business career too, man. Like, a lot of people, they don't realize, like, man, I had to hit a reset button like halfway through. I didn't know what to do, but I just had to keep moving, man. There's so many people depend on me, my family, my employees. So I was trying to keep my business open. I was trying to keep my family fed, and I was trying to split my time and juggle all these things. And I didn't know what the hell I was doing. But if you stay paralyzed because you just can't make a decision, you're stuck in this, I don't know what the right decision is. Sometimes there is no right or wrong decision, man. You just have to make one and go, and it will lead to the correct path. Like, it will veer you back on the right path. So I had a huge epiphany, man. I had a huge epiphany out just busting my ass that I need to be home busting my ass on my business. I need to, I wouldn't have had that moment without that experience of 6 months grinding on doors with guys,
Yeah, now when you're going out and acquiring clients in a different way, and you're using maybe social sales, or you're managing an inside sales department for your company, it gives you that much more insight to what it really takes. And if you can manufacture it out of will, and this is what I teach contractors. Look, you don't have to knock doors to have a door-to-door sales team. You just got to give people a vehicle, and that's a good starting point. And if you have a client, the best place to go get other clients is around that client. And so it doesn't matter if you're in solar or roofing or whatever, the door-to-door is always going to be powerful in home service. What, really people come to me is, I teach them how to use video to really geographically target areas, sell through social media. I also use social media to build door-to-door sales teams. And it's a sort of a combination of direct response and door-to-door. And that people come to me like, man, Lee, how do I apply this to windows or general contracting or building? And that's what we've seen is when COVID happened, all the preparation we learned in Arete, I launched a book called Contracting Growth Secrets. It sold all over the world. And my audience grew from just roofers to contractors and all blue-collar entrepreneurs. A guy bought my book out of Ireland. Then he partnered with a roofing company in Houston. Now he's half owner of a company in Houston making money from Ireland under lockdown. And all this because, Ed and Andy, they set an example of mass influence. They set an example of massive action, and surrounding yourself with those guys. And it's like, dude, you got to be in a hurry to get these kind of results. I tell you, these guys, the amount of impact they're making is kind of humbling. It's like, how can we ever keep up?
Yeah, well, you're doing a damn good job. I will tell you that, dude. So I applaud you for everything that you've done, everything that, and we have to contribute it to always not doing what everybody else in the industry is doing, right? You're looking outside of your industry. How can I make my industry better? How can I think outside the box? And that's what you started doing. And that's probably when you started seeing a lot of growth with your company. I mean, how many contractors have videographers on staff? How many contractors even deal with social media right now?
Wrote a book, man. I bet you didn't know how to write a damn book, and then that impacted your business huge. That's a huge power move that most people are like, I don't even know where to begin, so they don't even do it, right?
Well, let me put it to you this way, Kel. All the door-to-door guys that are so smart in Salt Lake, they own a big arena. Because I'm able to sell my book, and even if I break even, in the emails that follow up, everybody, there's a thing at the bottom that says "Join my team," and all these people that I've generated leads on. Now they're like interested in potentially joining my team. So what did I do? I found a way to paid prospect for door-to-door recruits, not by actively recruiting them, but kind of doing it like, hey, if you're interested, come on. And that is the new attraction-based media that everybody's got to apply to their business, to where it's not always just you're shoving it down people's throat. You're adding value, Absolutely. You're helping them, and then they're coming to you. And when they come to you, you have a vehicle that's packaged up for them, accessible. And, that's my purpose. I want to get people into, I believe there's going to be tons of people wiped out of jobs. there's hundreds of billions of dollars every year because of hail, hurricanes, fire, windstorms, floods, and insurance is a way in which basically you can get recession-proof profits. And so I'm going to teach people how to do this in times of uncertainty. As the economy goes bad, guess what? Weather is still bad, and my industry thrives. And, if what I'm doing to help other contractors, help door-to-door guys, and help my competitors or brothers in my industry elevates everyone's industry, then I'm doing my part to help save the middle class from technology, from the ruling class eliminating people's ability to provide for themselves. Y'all have done an amazing thing with building this, this business, helping other businesses and accounting. But you know so much about business, sales, marketing. You're giving so much value on this podcast. I mean, how much of it is actually about accounting? You know what I mean?
It's the thing is too many people are focused on the immediate result. And so instead of just running with information and giving value, they want to run immediately with offers, right? And I think what you're doing that's awesome is you've got a hybrid. You're giving out content all the time that's super valuable. You've got a book that they can purchase that's valuable, and you've got the offer where they can work with you one-on-one. So you're hitting on all areas of social media, and you're doing it very, very well. Let me ask you this. What was the biggest impact or pivotal moment that took you from, let's say, making okay money, decent money, to, Lee Haight today type money? What was the pivot? What was the adjustment? Was it learning how to market for yourself? Was it surrounding yourself with high power players?
It's a long story.
Okay. I love long stories.
I was in my industry and I had all the tools to be successful, but I was making average income. And, when I say average to me is 250,000. So, I'm doing okay, but I feel like that's living paycheck to paycheck because I can spend all that money in a year easily.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
And some of my friends are making millions at this time. So one year I had a lot of revenue, but not a lot of profit. I made another $250,000 a year when I should have made $500,000 or more. My uncle, who was my hero, we were actually competitors in business, but he had more money and he had a better successful company. He died tragically. He died. He passed away. It was a bad situation. He was sober and clean for a long time, but he strode back and he lost some money and he checked out. And it was a real realization that money doesn't buy you everything. But it also taught me when he died, the legacy of how many entrepreneurs he helped and how many people they helped. And that was really, to me, what life's meaning became, is making a bigger impact. And I felt like I had to carry the torch for my last name, and I felt like it was my time to step up. And from that point, I literally decided to sell Grant Cardone a roof and got myself in this situation. In order to pay for coaching, I had to start coaching. And it was this commitment of $60,000 to be on the Grant Cardone TV show, where I would have to make a vlog and I was paying $5,000 to drive traffic to Grant Cardone's TV, where he would sell them his training, and I was paying him $5,000. But that forced me to create the content. That forced me to become a coach. That forced me to create my own online university to pay for that silly deal that I made for the opportunity to close him. And yeah, I did roof 53 houses for him. And yeah, now I don't care about competing against him on the same weekend, because we're going to kill it for our space. We're all the blue collars and home service contractors. You're crazy not to hang out with me. Grant is a great sales guy, but when it comes to building a business, the thing that's different about me than him is I have 200 employees. I've built 50,000 home service re-roofing projects. We have 7 brick and mortar locations throughout the United States, and my system is a passed on generation from my father, and I want to continue it for my kids. And now, the thing is I'm a mix of an internet coach and someone who's actually living it. And I feel like there's too many internet coaches that don't actually live it, that made rich off of selling you on selling. And it's an echo chamber of information that doesn't come from blood, sweat, and tears, and a real like vehicle for change. And I'm very passionate about storm restoration and sky diamonds when the money falls from the sky from hail and from hurricanes. My university is what teaches you how to do it. but it's this real loyalty to a lucrative niche, but tying in how to become a category king by educating your whole industry and developing a system and sharing your marketing systems, your recruiting systems with your competition so that you can further develop the system itself. See, because out of coaching all these people, I've learned their best practices and I've added it to my game. I've also had better competence and having to explain how to advertise and having to test $3 million in ads. And now I can get any home service contractor to successfully advertise on Facebook. And if you're trying and you're not succeeding, it's because your videos suck. It's because your messaging sucks. It's because people are not on Facebook to buy a fucking roof, a garage door, a siding project, a window project. You got to find out how to grab their attention with a hook. You got to learn how to tell stories. You got to make them an offer you can't refuse. And you got to learn how to be enthusiastic and entertaining on camera. And if you feel like you don't have to do that, we live in a different age. We live in an age where the man that creates the personality brand is going to win. The accounting firm that's got the podcast is going to dominate the punks that want to sit behind a desk. And so you got a choice to make. You can be one of the strong, or you can be one of the people that are eliminated that join somebody else's strong when they're eliminated. But the strong are going to rise to the top. And I think the moment happened, like, tragedy became opportunity. And then I made a commitment that pushed me to work harder. And then I think I went through a slump. I got beat up. And then I went to a Funnel Hacker Live. And I invested into Russell Brunson's 2 Comma Club. And then Russell Brunson sent me a book every day for 12 months. And I recreated my webinar and had a lot more online success because of that exact moment in time where I bought another coaching program. And, whenever our company grew and we had massive success and we outgrew us and we had core values and leadership issues, I joined Arete at $70,000 investment so that I could be a better leader. So I paid the $72,000 guys so that I would complete 75 hard. And that's stupid because it's a free fucking program. But I'm a guy that if I don't fucking ratchet up the pressure for myself, then I'm afraid to actually is this really worth my time and attention? And so, I failed 75 hard 3 times. During the 75 hard, Daryl was sitting right next to me. He took it on. He did the challenge. Shout out to the guy from Arizona, a good friend of mine. But the truth is that made me feel like a bitch whenever I couldn't get my mental discipline right. He did, obviously. And, a year later at the end of the program, I finally fucking did 75 hard. My first day in the gym, I went to the boxing gym, and it developed this fucking newfound obsession with boxing workouts and MMA workouts and the therapy that comes from hitting bags. And it's got me in the best shape of my life. Now I'm going to open a boxing gym. And, cool. The whole point is that, look, you don't know where life is going to lead you, but you have to recklessly pursue your curiosity with intense intention, with the money and the time and the energy that you put into the things that don't pay you shit, depreciating assets, material things. You have to put the same fucking money into yourself, your skill set, your coaches, your network, your personal brand, your advertising fucking campaigns. And this is the new age. If you don't do this, you're just one of these guys who are going to be eliminated by people who are.
Yeah, dude, you know what I love about your story, dude, is so many people don't realize that in order for you to level up and go to that next level, you just got to go to the next level of your networking. And people aren't willing to take the risk to go to that next level. If you wanted to level up, you ended up paying Grant Cardone to become a part of his program, stand out with him, work directly with him. Next thing you know, you're doing business with him. Same thing with what you did with, guys in Arete, and all these different networking groups have led you down all these different paths, which have helped you find more passions, have helped you dial in your business, helped you give more to other people. But you had to pay the money to get in these guys' wheelhouse in their network. Most people just want to network and it's all about them. It's all about them. Well, dude, you need to level up your network. In order to level up your network, you got to bring value to that upper network, those people above you. Like if I have a building product that I want Lee to use in all of his jobs, well, maybe I'm just going to pay Lee for his program. I'm going to learn everything about him, his business. I'm going to figure out ways to learn and grow. But now I'm going to stand out to Lee. Now I've got a relationship with Lee. I paid him. I've brought value to him. He's brought value to me. Now it's a perfect opportunity. Like, dude, I want to show you this product product that you can start using in your roofing jobs or whatever it is, right? Just for an example. And that's what you've been willing to do, man. That's one thing I took away from your story. There's a lot of things I could take from your story, but I'm a natural networker, and that's stuff that I do, man. I pay, dude. I'll go do investments with guys that are big time investors so that they'll send me their clients in accounting. Like, dude, let's do investments together, man. Like, I want to be in your world, right? And so people got to realize they got to do that.
When I did the deal with Grant, I educated him and I told all the roofers. So he met a lot of roofers, and now it's harder to get roof deals from Grant because he gets a lot of cheap bids. But I met his real estate investment partner, and that guy went off on his own. And now I put my money with Ben at Inman Equities. And basically, he grows my money and doubles it while I get to be the general contractor on all the apartments. Now, since he's left Grant, he's bought thousands of units, and I've been the contractor on the jobs. Does Grant Cardone give me jobs anymore? No. But I didn't let that lead cycle die. And you know what I call that? I call it the Trojan Horse. You know, you got to build the Trojan Horse. The Trojan Horse is expensive, takes a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and not to have a bad connotation to it, but as a man, I'm motivated by win. I'm a Spartan motivated type of guy. So the idea that the troops of business are inside of this Trojan Horse, that if we add value and we make it our way to the top, that the king is going to bring us in and let us continue to operate at the highest level with him. This Trojan Horse is gifted. Lets all your business win. And so, you know,
but what does it take to build the Trojan Horse? A lot of blood, sweat, tears, money. You know, you're investing into a concept that you don't even know is going to work yet. And then you find out after what the result's going to be. But not enough people want to build their Trojan horse within their business because they don't know what the after's going to look like because there's a little uncertainty. I promise you, when you invest into yourself and invest into coaching, you invest into mentoring, invest into being around higher power players, something magical does happen. You don't know exactly what it will be, where it'll take you, but 100% of the time when you commit to surround yourself with better human beings, you will by default become a better human being. It's just a law, right? It's like the law of gravity, the law of whatever, right? It's just the way that it works. I can't really explain it, but every single time that we've stroked a check or we've invested money to surround ourselves with better human beings, we by default become better human beings. Our network is now full of better human beings, and now we're doing bigger and better deals because we're surrounded by higher power players and great human beings that are there to serve, be their best self, and just take action and create a legacy. Because you talked about that. I want to create the legacy for my family, continue the legacy for my family. Sometimes it has to be bigger than money. You know, because you were making $250,000 a year, and a lot of people would get very, very comfortable making $250,000 a year, and they're going to hit maintenance mode. But no, you knew other people making $500,000, $1 million. Those were people in your ecosystem that you saw doing bigger and better. If your ecosystem was surrounded by $50,000 a year earners while you're making $250,000 a year, Lee Haight would still probably be making $250,000 a year because he's the big dog in his group. So what did he do? He chose to be the small dog in a very large group, high power players, buying his way into that. But now by default, years later, Lee's a high power player. It's just funny how that works, right? And again, it's not an immediate result.
They're afraid that if they move on, they're firing their friends. That's not true. Like, I have one of my best friends from high school that just called me before I went on this podcast. He is definitely one of the best friends I'll have in my life, but he's not the kind of guy who's going to push me income level. He's the kind of guy that would push me on a snowboard, on a wakeboard. If we're ever doing crazy shit, like I got this plan that I want to do an MMA cage fight because no other influencers I see actually do that shit. I'm actually going to document my journey from dad bod to cage fight, and starting with some amateur boxing, and it's going to be a great journey or whatnot. But
dude, this is what I'm talking about though. You're just challenging yourself over and over and over. You're like, what's scary? What was going to put me in a situation where I have to perform? I don't know, commit to something large and then figure it out later, right? And when you commit to something large, next thing you know, you're on the path to something large because you made the commitment. And so This is all the stuff that we've been preaching over the last 89 episodes. Challenging yourself, staying outside your comfort zone, investing around people to be around high power players, taking action, not surrounding yourself with a bunch of mediocre minds because you'll be the next mediocre mind. And here we are on a podcast because all of us made an investment to be in a group, and now we have a great friendship with Lee Haight.
And I said, hey, whenever I had an event, I'm like, look, I want y'all to be a part of it. And look, we're going to do a deal where we get you in front of my audience. I get you a spot just like your home. I'm going to go to my people and say, look, these guys are family. You don't know them yet. They're like, oh, God, who's the new uncle? And I'm like, look, put this one on the house. We got a deal here. We're going to take care of some people because I believe that my clients are going to extremely benefit from your services. You have an incredible value. I can't believe that what you do for people at the value that you do for them. And, the content that you create is just amazing. I'm in complete alignment. And I just know that you're going to add massive value to the contractors who are looking for real secure investments with the nonsense that's going on in the stock market, nonsense going on in all different places. You do have to find a way to really have reliable sources of people. And I know contractors, they don't know how much money they're making a lot of times. They don't have the discipline to pay themselves first. They're behind on their taxes, and they need a lot of extra work. And I know y'all do it. And that's why it's like, okay, we got to get more guys that are home service contractors following you. I got to get in front of all the real business owners that either want to get into the contracting business or in the contracting business. If you want more leads from social media, if you want to build a sales team and grow it, if you want to find a way to have a company that runs with its team and that you don't have to, then I'm your guy to help you do that. I think there's a lot of coaches on the internet to help with general business. I don't see that many coaches for contractors, blue collar entrepreneur coaches. I see a lot of guys that learn digital marketing, and I was not a digital marketer until 5 years ago. I was a word of mouth guy. I was a guy that got everything door to door. But 5 years ago, when that tragic situation happened, I pivoted, and ever since, that's where the business went from good to great. And that book really changed my life. I recommend it to every business owner. Inside of it, there's a concept, the hedgehog concept. I believe everyone should ask themselves these 3 questions. What are you most passionate about? What are you most passionate about? For me, I'm most passionate about opening the door to opportunity, leads. I love creating new sales recruits, new people, new life. You never know what it can lead to. Referrals, book of business. Look, what can you be best in the world at? Now, I just got to ask you, it's a pretty hard, serious question if you have to ask yourself, what can you be the best in the world at? Because a lot of fucking people out there, a lot of things already been done. And, for me, I can hands down be the best in the world at getting people into the roofing business. Why? Because it's what I call America's most viral vertical market, $100 billion a year market. It's recession proof, and it's what I grew up in. I can also be the best in the world facilitating their success, and I'll share all of our sales and marketing strategies to other home service contractors, and I'll help them grow. And maybe if some of them learn about our niche, some of them grow. We have big plans. We're going to take over the whole game. My whole point is, hopefully this helps middle-class people build wealth. It helps us not have to be a slave to these techno people. And as more and more technology takes over, these people are going to control more and more of the world. And so you got to do something. And if you
got to take control of your own life. I mean, at the end of the day, it's your life. You got to take control of it. What I really, really like about you, yes, there are a lot of coaches and, there's a lot of help out there. But the difference between you and them, you are very specific. You dive really, really deep into their business. You really get into the fundamentals of how to grow and scale their company. A lot of coaching groups, it's very generic. And then, again, there's a lot of different industries in the crowd. And so they have to be somewhat generic. So us, an accounting company, can get value out of it. And Lee, the contractor, can also get value out of it. So it's up to us to take that information and see how it fits in our industry or in our business. With what you're doing, you're so industry specific in terms of, blue collar contractors, guys that are really hustling and putting in the work to put food on the table and create a legacy for their family that's stuck at 100 or 200 or 300 grand a year. And they realize that maybe they've been in maintenance mode a little too long and maybe they got a little too comfortable, but there's a whole nother ceiling that's available to them, provided they start investing into the information that can get them where they want to go. So what Lee just said, guys, is Me and Kale will be out in Miami on March 11th through the 13th. I know a lot of you guys message us, hey, where are you guys going to be? Are you guys going to be at any events? You know, whatever it is. If you guys are in the Miami area, Florida area, I don't care if you're in freaking Ireland. I don't give a shit where the hell you're at. If you're in any sort of trade work or contracting work, this is an event that you should be at. Secondly, we're going to have a booth at the event to where you can come up and say hello to us, say what up. I know that we haven't had a whole lot of in-person stuff over the last year, and we've had a lot of people reach out, want to connect with us in person. This is going to be a way to do that. So if you're in any trade, I don't care what the trade is. It doesn't have to be roofing. You can be a freaking plumber, framer, roofer, whatever it is. Guess what? If you're a plumber and your business isn't really making money, maybe there's an industry that's very similar that you can make a small pivot and make way more money. You know, we went to a Gary Vee event in 2018 that was called Agent 2021. Now, this was for real estate agents, insurance agents, and mortgage agents. It wasn't for accounting companies. But what did we do? We still invested into it. Kel had an intuition that we needed to be there. So he followed the intuition. He booked it. We went there and we got value out of it because right after that, we hired a videographer. We made the commitment because we attended an event that we had no reason to be at. Just because you're contractor specific, I still think, I mean, just so that you guys know.
Here's what I think.
Yeah.
I think I got hit up by A&E and they wanted to do a TV show called Flipping Collars, where they took a white collar CEO and they put him into a blue collar job. I don't know how many people that are out making $100,000 that would love to become a blue collar millionaire by having some sort of home service business. Look, you don't do the work, you have other people do it. All you do is sell the work, and guess where people spend their money? Their fucking homes. So if you want to learn how to build a multi-million-dollar business that's not a digital marketing business or some foo-foo bullshit network marketing thing, it's real simple. Start a contracting company. And whether you're doing windows, home building, decks, fences, swimming pools, landscaping, roofs, kitchens, and doors. Look, the principles of growing the business are the same, and I can show you how to penetrate this market. And you don't have to have the skills to do the jobs. You don't have to do the jobs. And this is a huge thing because there's restaurant owners right now thinking about what business should I be in? Where's the pivot? Maybe it's the home service industry. And if you're listening to this, listen, we're going to have Ed Milet, and Ed's let me tell you, the most transformational speaker. And what he talks about is building a team. It's about, teaching your sales guys and your team how to be an unstoppable force and how for you to create a movement. Everybody needs this. We're going to be having Brad Lee. He's hilarious. He's one of the best salespeople I've ever met. He's going to entertain. He's going to teach you closing strategies, but he's going to talk about how to create video that gives you more time. Training is the key to growing your business and creating better video training, using video to grow a better brand, using video to sell. I call it digital duplication. Brad's going to be talking about that. We got Myron Golden, who's a stage selling coach for me. I believe everyone needs to learn how to speak from stage, speak from a podcast. And y'all are going to love this guy because
I'm excited. Yeah, that that sucks me in, man. I love that stuff. Yeah.
Well, dude, anytime you again get to hear from anybody at a high level, that's the stuff that we're about because we've done it so much. Now that we have the data, we have years of data of surrounding ourselves with high power players and listening to them. And there's just something energetic, inspiring, and motivating about it that when you come home, when you fly home, that whole fly home, your brain's going a million miles an hour and holy shit, I'm going to blow my business out of the water this year. You recommit to success and success at a high level. And so anytime we get to surround ourselves with people like that, we're all about it, and that's what
I saw. That Instagram post. That Instagram post is the other side of the story that y'all are willing to pay the price. Not only are you willing to pay the financial price, but here they are sitting in an airport. They got families. They got places to be. It's Sunday, and yesterday they're sitting in an airport. Just all pumped up on this energy, not worrying about sitting in an airport or waiting on a plane or waiting on a delay. Because you know what, you can't replace that transformational type energy that when you apply to your business attracts just beautiful things. And just like our having the opportunity to collaborate and being shared on your platform, I'm incredibly grateful for. And there's one thing I can say is that I hope to add as much value to y'all and hopefully you're able to help a lot of people in my audience because just following y'all's journey, man. It's been very inspirational. I think the content that you create is some of the best on the internet, and I really appreciate y'all having me on your show.
Dude, we appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah, dude. I mean, let me ask you this. You've been very specific to an industry for a while. You've made pivots in the industry. You've made adjustments so that you could be the king of what you do, right? But as you went through the process, obviously there was a lot of struggles that were involved in it, right? Would you say that those struggles happened because you weren't all the way in terms of buying into your best version of yourself and the best version of your business, and you got comfortable? Or was it just due to the fact of lack of knowledge? What took it from a struggling state to a success state for you?
Well, you outgrow yourself over and over. So I'll take Ray Dalio's principles. It's just like a never-ending loop where eventually you get to a point where your company outgrows your leadership. Your sales outgrows your operations. Your operations and sales doesn't have enough marketing. And you get to different points in your business that you have to redesign a new solution. You have to kill the old you to become the new you, make the sacrifices, do the work necessary, and then be surrounded with enough good people that you can pick everybody's brain and design that solution. So along the way, I've partied too hard. I was just door-to-door guy. Didn't take my mom's given me books by Gary Vee a long time ago. It wasn't really this Grant guy, just really because I liked him so much and looked up to him so much and wanted to be that guy. He inspired me so much. I can't hate on the guy. I can tell you that it started a journey where, it introduced me to all these influencers and applying their lessons along with me coaching lots of people. It was that accelerator that helped me be better. But dude, as a public figure, I got fined $700,000 and publicly got my business shut down. And people were calling me shitty on the names on the internet. I've been called every fucking name you can think of. I've had, influencers try and make it seem like I'm not legit. I've had people that have got my training that have gotten massive value from my training, but because they're scarcity minded, they don't want to tell people about it. They actually just want me to keep working for themselves. I do so good a job, they don't want to tell anybody about it. And
makes sense. They're trying to make sure that why would they want more competition? And that's the scarcity mindset that Lee's talking about. This world has plenty of money in it, right? So you can't have a mindset where you're scared to share information. Even creating content, people are scared to create free content because they're scared that they give too much value away, that individual won't need them anymore. But the funny thing is, it is, without a doubt. When you give it away, it comes back at tenfold. That's just the way that it works.
Grant talks a lot about having multiple streams of income, and this is a tricky subject because I see business owners, instead of knuckling down on their business, creating another business, and then halfway focusing on that, like their marketing sucks in one business, so their marketing sucks in their second business. And the truth is that my businesses all complement each other. I started in roofing, and then I pivoted to an online university for roofers. And then as I really kind of hammered that out, I pivoted into coaching all contractors. And, the reality is it all kind of works together. Even with opening up boxing gyms, I'm going to recruit door-to-door salespeople out of the boxing gyms. I'm going to, bring people into the roofing industry through the boxing gyms. And I'm going to be an example for my contractors who drink a lot of beer, do other dumb things, they eat bad and stuff, that, hey, being a fitness example, you don't have to go to the gym and lift big weights. I mean, I personally wasn't motivated to get ripped and shredded, but preparing for a fight has me in the best shape of my life because I don't want to be in bad shape and get the fuck beat out of me. So that's what inspires me. I don't know.
But you put yourself in a tough situation where it's going to force you to put in the work that's necessary in order to get the result that you want. No matter if you win or lose, doesn't matter. You're still going to be, Lee Haight times 2, right? 2.0, the next best version of Lee Haight, no matter what happens. And then when that's over, guess what's going to happen? Lee's going to basically set his sights out for the next thing. What else is going to force me outside of myself? What's the next challenge? If you notice the trend here, he bit off 75 hard. He did 75 hard. Then now the next challenge is well, wow, I did 75 hard. Here's how I did it. I started boxing. I started enjoying it. Now the next challenge is to actually set up a fight and get in even better shape and double down. It's the same concept. When Kel did 75 hard, he committed to writing a book. He's almost done with his book. When I got done with 75 hard, I said, I want to become a pilot. So now I'm in the middle of flight school, and I'm about halfway done with flight school. So I should have a pilot's license in the next 3 months or so. So it's just funny that the trend here between all three of us is we find a challenge, we beat that challenge, we become better, and then we find the next one. And then the next one. And it's not necessarily just in business, because we're wanting to push ourselves personally, because if we become better as individuals, we're now better operators, we're better leaders, we're better human beings, and we're just more disciplined, and it carries over into all aspects of life.
Amen. Let me touch on one part. There was a moment where I almost broke down. I can remember being in debt with growth of my business. The supply company bills, when you grow in contracting, you grow your expenses, and
Absolutely.
I didn't have the pieces, and I was getting the points, but I didn't have the pieces. I didn't have all the money, and I had to go out and borrow money. I had to do so many things just to keep up, and I could remember being at church and really giving it up to God, this responsibility of every dollar and every cent, and just went into I'm going to do everything right. I'm going to do the next right thing. Whatever the next most important thing, the one big thing by Gary Keller, like I take it seriously, like it's my job to prioritize and execute whatever I need to do. That's my job. And as long as I do that, then it doesn't matter about the money. Because if my purpose is true, if my actions are true, I've never had a problem at one time funding anything that I wanted to do in life. Why would I create a problem by worrying about it? And even at a time where I stared down like huge financial problems, which weren't that big, but $1 million in debt at the time seemed like a big deal. Now it's just a part of business that we're constantly keeping in cash flow. But I at that point, I'm very spiritual. I'm not, I wouldn't call myself an extremely religious person, but it was helpful for me to recommit in church. And this pastor changed my life. Since then, I've had not as much time in church, but the same connection. And I've been tying in meditation.
I was going to ask about that, like maybe some of your routines or habits that you feel
social
like
media
have made you better.
is a great thing and a downfall at the same time. Like right now, I got to get back home, meet with my wife. She just came in from out of town. The biggest thing is social media and opportunity can then become a very challenging thing. Like there's new rules that I'm designing my life so that I make sure my wife understands when I'm at home, she's the number one, and that she's number one throughout the day. And part of it, social media distracts me too much. So you got to limit how much time you spend on it and whatnot. But what I'm saying is that, look, the way that I find happiness is distancing myself from getting wrapped up in everything.
The noise.
That is, the noise. And I don't watch the news. I don't watch TV. I read books. I work out. I help my family. I help my business. I create content. My biggest downfall is I get too distracted consuming content on social media. It's something I struggle with. And I have to punish myself. I mean, by literally putting reminders on my phone, hiding my phone when I go home. And it's like, look, I go to meditate and, it's like, this is where you find a way to deal with all this shit. Because here's the deal. You're going to go big. People are going to take from you. People are going to look for a piece of you. They're gonna call you names. There's gonna be negativity and hate, and there's gonna be a lot of risk because it's the down payment for success. So being able to handle this stress, for me, if I beat the shit out of myself in the gym, if I meditate for 10 minutes a day, if I don't spend too much time going social media mind, and I do my part as service around my house that I'm supposed to do, dude, I can still go big. I can become a billionaire. I can risk it all. And I can still be very happy too. I can really have absolutely no work-life balance, but love my life.
Mm-hmm. One thing that really resonated with me is basically the right decision is the right decision is the right decision. It doesn't matter if it's the hard decision, and in most cases the hard decision is the right decision. And that's why most people live a very average life, is because they're not willing to go down the route that is the hardest decision to make, whether it's investing in money, whether it's investing into yourself, whether it's spending time to figure out how to meditate and clear your mind, whether it's spending time in the gym or committing to challenges. These are all things that are outside of people's comfort zone. Those are all the right decisions. And literally, you started just hitting again on everything that we talk about. Make sure that you have some sort of routine that keeps you sane. Meditation, drowned out the noise on the news and social. All that is noise that's going to be a distraction to what you're trying to accomplish. Fill your your mind with good information through books, through people that have already been successful that's done it. Is it easy to choose a book over, kicking up and drinking a beer and watching a football game? Yeah, it's harder to sit down and read a book, but that's still the right decision.
It's a lot easier after a week of doing it in a row. It's a lot easier. It's Absolutely. A lot easier.
It's
a lot easier if you bust your ass so hard in the gym. If you do 2 workouts in a day, you don't want to have a beer. You don't want to take a step backwards. You don't want to take a step backwards. And once you have 7 days in a row of stepping forward, it's not even a decision.
It's a lifestyle now.
It's a lifestyle.
It's just a way that you live. Yeah, I agree.
Well, guys, I'm gonna go because my wife's gonna kill me. I've got to run.
No, you're good. You're good. We're wrapping up anyways. I just want to know if anybody that's listening that's serious about potentially getting a ticket to go to Miami so that they can connect with us, me and Kel, connect with you, see Ed Milet speak, Brad Lee speak. Where do they go to, one, buy a ticket, and secondly, where would they go to connect with you individually on social media?
Okay, first of all, go to bluecollarconference.com. I just want y'all to know I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on this, and at $500,
and we can verify that. We can verify that.
If I sell every ticket to this event, I'm going to practically break even. So it's a hell of a value. It's at the Fontainebleau, best hotel. I've actually rented out the Live nightclub on Saturday. It's been closed down, but literally I got the whole Live nightclub. It's going to be off the chain. We got Randy Couture, former UFC heavyweight champion. I did everything I could to get Andy Frisella, and I'm gonna keep working. And I know what's going to get him. I'm going to say, Andy, let's beat Grant Cardone in GrowthCon. Let's come on. Let's beat him. And I might fly into St. Louis and make a YouTube episode out of trying to talk him into coming to the event. But the idea is, guys, is that you're going to come here. You're going to learn how to double, triple, quadruple your home service business. You're going to get insight on how to find happiness and quality of life along the way. You're going to meet some great people, great contractors, great coaches. And if you want to join us just by following us, go to Lee_Haight on Instagram and look me up on YouTube. We're creating a lot of good content this year from the Arete Syndicate. I hired Evan Carmichael as my coach. I've been really focusing on creating a lot of good content on YouTube. So if you want to check me out on YouTube, you can go to Lee Haight on YouTube. Follow me there. Subscribe. Lots of good.
Spell your last name for everybody so that they know.
It's Lee, Lee_HAIGHT. That's Lee_HAIGHT. I'm a lover, not a hater. And I love helping blue-collar entrepreneurs become blue-collar millionaires. And it's not very easy, okay? Here's the caveat. It's a hard-ass job.
It
a lot
is,
of sacrifice.
But you're great at it. You're great at it, dude. There's nobody next to you right now doing what you're doing at the level that you're doing it and making the impact that you're making in that industry. So again, bro, you taking the time with us today. I know you got a busy ass schedule. You're running around putting conferences together, running businesses, coaching people, father, husband, you've got a big job every single day, but you handle it well. You do it with grace. You kick ass. You're a good human being, and we appreciate you spending some time with us today. And we can't wait to get out to Miami and show you some love and give you a damn hug, brother.
All right, guys. Hey, where can my guys follow y'all? If they're watching this, I'm going to post a copy of this on my channel. So where can they follow y'all?
Yeah, just check us out at Real Business Owners on Instagram. That's the best way to connect with us. We answer all direct messages. If you're looking for good content to absorb that can help you, think a little bit differently, check out Real Business Owners. Obviously podcast. We've got 89 other episodes that are just full of value. Whether it's marketing, leadership, culture, it doesn't matter what the topic is. We've covered it, and we go in depth just like you do with your clients. So.
All right,
Appreciate
guys.
you, brother.
Can't wait to see y'all in Miami, guys.
I know.
Yeah,
I can't wait
man.
either, dude. Appreciate you taking the time. Take care, man.
See ya.